Welcome to the Equipped Disciple channel. My name is Rick McClatchy. I will be your host. We are here to be and to make disciples of Jesus, and we do that through daily devos, through Sunday sermons, and through other discipleship resources. We are here to equip you to be an equipped disciple. All right, welcome into another day of your daily devos. I'm Pastor Rick, and we are jumping into Genesis chapter 45. I think we're going to just tackle the entire thing today, making some great headway. And so here we go. Verse 1, kicking it right off, wasting no time. Joseph could no longer keep his composure in front of all of his attendants, so he called out, "Send everyone away from me." No one was with him when he revealed his identity to his brothers. But he wept so loudly that the Egyptians heard it, and also Pharaoh's household heard it. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father still living?" But they could not answer him because they were terrified in his presence. You think? I mean, whoa. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Please come near me." And they came near. "I am Joseph, your brother," he said, "the one you sold into slavery." Just rub it in, brother. Rub it in. "And now don't be grieved or angry with yourselves for selling me here, because God sent me ahead of you to preserve life." Wow. Put yourself in the shoes of Joseph's brothers right now. I mean, hello. You put a guy in a pit, and then you were going to kill him, and then you changed your mind at the last minute, and you sold him into slavery into Egypt. Next thing you know, you're trying to get your brother out of the dungeon, and then you find out that the guy that put him there is the brother that you sold into slavery. Whoa! I mean, the fear, you thought you were scared when you didn't know who this Egyptian guy was, and now he's the brother that you sold into slavery. Like, it's good that Joseph's trying to have the talk him off the cliff here kind of conversation, because they can't be imagining any kind of way in which this situation goes well. So, God sent me ahead of you to preserve life. What a perspective. This is how you start to see what made Joseph's mind tick in such a way that he was able to not just survive this crazy scenario in his life, but to thrive big time, because he had a sense for the purposes of God being accomplished. That's how he made it through his time in prison, even though it was extended a good 2 years longer than it should have been, even after the predicting of the dreams. "For the famine has been in the land," verse 6, "for these 2 years, and there will be 5 more years without plowing or harvesting. God sent me ahead of you to establish you as a remnant within the land and to keep you alive by a great deliverance. Therefore, it was not you who sent me here, but God. He has made me a father to Pharaoh, lord of the entire household, and ruler over all the land of Egypt." I mean, wow. When God does something, he really does it. "Return quickly to my father and say to him, 'This is what your son Joseph says. God has made me lord of all Egypt. Come down to me without delay. You can settle in the land of Goshen and be near me. You, your children and your grandchildren, your flocks, your herds, and all you have. There I will sustain you, for there will be 5 more years of famine. Otherwise your household and everything you have will become destitute.'" Like, really, essentially, you have no options. You better do what I'm telling you to do. But I mean, he's telling him to do nice things. Verse 12, "Look, your eyes and the eyes of my brother Benjamin can see that I'm the one speaking to you. Tell my father about all my glory in Egypt and about all you have seen, and bring my father here quickly." Then Joseph threw his arms around his brother Benjamin and wept, and Benjamin wept on his shoulder. Joseph kissed each of his brothers as he wept, and afterwards his brothers talked with him. When the news reached Pharaoh's palace, "Joseph's brothers have come," Pharaoh and his servants were pleased. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Tell your brothers, do this, load your animals and go on back to the land of Canaan. Get your father and your families and come back to me. I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you can eat from the richness of the land. You are also commanded to tell them, do this, take wagons from the land of Egypt for your dependents and your wives and bring your father here." I mean, they are rolling out the red carpet here, folks. Like, Like, you're not just going to have to travel, but you're going to travel in style. You're not just going to come here and eke by, eke out a living. No, you're going to come and you're going to live in the best part of the land. We're going to supply you the richness of the land. Get your father and your families and come back to me, and I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you can eat from the richness of the land. Like, put this into perspective here, people. These are people that sold Joseph into slavery, and this is the treatment that they're getting. Come on back, and I'm going to give you the best of the land of Egypt. If Joseph isn't like a type of Christ in the Bible, man, nobody is, because this is the one that went before us. That we don't really have any recordings of Joseph really like sinning of any kind at any part of the journey. So it's like he goes ahead of his brothers and he makes a sacrifice all that time, slavery and prison. And he rises kind of to the right hand of the Father, and if you will, like, with Pharaoh kind of being, the big guy in Egypt. And he makes a way, even when we're the ones that sent him away, because Jesus was crucified by the Romans crucified him, but it was under the duress, the pressure that the Israelites, the Jews, put on the Roman government. So get your father and your families and come back to me, and I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you can eat from the richness of the land. Wow. It's just mind-boggling, the level of provision, the level of grace and mercy that's being shown to Joseph's brothers. Verse 20, do not be concerned about your belongings, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. The sons of Israel did this. Joseph gave them wagons as Pharaoh had commanded. He gave them provisions for the journey. He gave each of the brothers changes of clothes, but he gave Benjamin 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of clothes. Wow. He sent his father the following: 10 donkeys carrying the best products of Egypt and 10 female donkeys carrying grain, food, provisions for his father on the journey. So Joseph sent his brothers on their way, and as they were leaving, he said to them, don't argue on the way. Don't argue on the way. Like, he knows his brothers. He knows how they work. So he's like, guys, for once in your lives, please, don't argue, okay? Like, keep it together, man. Let's do this. Verse 25, so they went up from Egypt and came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. And they said, Joseph is still alive. He's a ruler over all the land of Egypt. Jacob was stunned, for he did not believe them. Can you blame him? No, I can't blame him. Of course he didn't believe them, because they're stinking liars, right? But when they told Jacob all that Joseph had said to them, and when he saw the wagons that Joseph had sent to transport him, the spirit of their father Jacob was revived. He was revived. Then Israel said, enough, my son Joseph is still alive. I will go see him before I die. What? Imagine what Jacob was feeling in this moment. He had lived for the last 13 plus years, convinced, probably closer to 15 years. 13 years up to, because we had the 7 years of plenty. So 13 plus 7 is 20, plus 2 more is 22. So for 22 years, probably, he has just believed that Joseph was dead, gone, permanently gone. And now all of a sudden, he's not just alive and like barely getting by. He's the second most powerful person in the entire world. What? So it's like impossible to even like fathom how Joseph must have been feeling once. He probably was still, even though he was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get in that wagon and we're going to go see Joe. Man, he had to have like not even hardly been able to believe it till he actually just saw him, because he'd been convincing himself for the last 22 years that Joseph's dead. Wow. What a story of God's restoration. What a story of God's faithfulness. What a story of God's power to see people through. What a story of God's mercy and grace. That even when we are doing the stupidest things, even when we are so opposed to him, he's still working on our behalf. That those brothers lied and cheated and, I mean, like almost murdered and sold somebody in slavery. And he still provided for their future. He still provided a way for them. There is no way that you are not encouraged today. So be encouraged. God bless you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.